Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, man, you know this does not work. Let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods this morning on this Thursday. Now, we've got to wait till Saturday for our Dallas Cowboys to start playing, but that's okay. We've got the Washington Redskins on tap tonight. We got the New York Stinking Giants, and we've got the Eagles. And it'll be a great time to check out the competition because, hey, you need to know what the other teams are doing. Because a lot of times, last night we had Mr. Bad Dog on here last night talking to him because, in 14 days, 12 hours, 26 minutes, and 37 seconds, we have kickoff of the 2019 season. And 3 days later, we play the New York Stinking Giants. And so we need to start building this hype up and everything else and start figuring out what they've been doing. We've been so busy on our Dallas Cowboys that it's not enough just to know what we're doing. We have to know how to attack these other teams. And since we play the Giants week one and the Redskins week two, um, we've got to know everything we can about both of those teams. And who's going to be playing quarterback or not. So I get a lot of people that say, "Oh man, you're messing up your channel putting these guys on here." No, man, these guys are great YouTubers as well, and it's a great way to build up the rivalry because if we win, we can go troll them, and that's the fun part. And that's what I enjoyed growing up in football because my dad had his cousins and his uncles and family and all that. And even to this day, my brother is a Redskin fan. My dad's a Cowboy fan. So every week they have like a $10 bet. And whenever the Redskins lose, my brother doesn't talk to my dad too much and all that. And it seems like it takes him a little time to pay up that bet. But it's not so much about the money as it is being able to ride that other person. And see, it's got nothing to do with hating each other. It doesn't. It's about being the victor and enjoying the spoils. And we've gotten away from that too long. We've gotten to the point where everybody is just, if you're not a Cowboy fan, then we need to go in a fist fight. Oh, man, slow your roll. Slow your roll, man. This is where I'm taking them apart. And being that I'm from that older generation, it used to be, see, you don't understand what it's like not having something if you've never not had it. See, we see all of these cable channels, on our telephones. We've got it everywhere. We can watch games now on our phone. When I grew up, we had like 5 channels of TV. Five. There was no remote control. There was no ESPN. There was no Sports Center. There was no NFL Network. The only thing you had was on Sunday nights, 11:30, the George Michael Sports Machine. 30 minutes of highlights, and you were like, I can't wait for the George Michael Sports Machine. Because that was it. You guys have been spoiled. But along came ESPN, and ESPN was showing highlights and clips and everything else, and they weren't giving you opinions. They were just giving you the facts, and you could make up your own mind. Well, that's kind of changed now. Because now, sports talk, sports television shows, the majority of them are all conspiracy theories. You've got now every one of them, of course. Signing Jaylon Smith was a message to Dak Prescott, that he needs to take a team friendly deal. Or like this one from Colin Cowherd, who basically says that Zeke Elliott's career is over.
He's very calculating. Through the years, Jerry's reputation is a lot of ego, and he's got plenty of it, and a lot of vanity. But when you can sit in a room with 31 other billionaires and they listen to your advice, you're pretty smart. The NFL owners listen to two guys, Bob Kraft of the Patriots, and a lot of that is because they win the most, and then Jerry Jones of the Cowboys, who doesn't win that much, and they listen to him. Jerry's very shrewd. He's a high risk taker. He is very calculated, and he's got a ton of leverage. So yesterday, what did Jerry Jones do? Because he wants to sign Ezekiel Elliott. And he has been going public with his son, Stephen Jones, tag team partnering now for 3 weeks. So yesterday, what does he do? He signs a player to a big contract, but not any player. Jaylon Smith, one of the more likable players. Quiet, has a great story, overcame an injury, never misses a practice. Jerry could have signed any of his players to a long-term deal, but instead he chose the one player who grew up as a Cowboy fan, the one player who almost had his football career end, the best story of the Dallas Cowboys, the most beloved player, his defensive signal caller. Didn't have to. Contract wasn't up. That was a message. And then after he signed him and praised him for being the hardest worker, the best story, an amazing person, always supportive, wants to be a Cowboy, could have done that with any player. He could have signed Zeke yesterday, Dak, Amari. He could have done any player. He picked Jaylon Smith. And then did you notice what he said about available money now available? Boy, if you don't even have to reach for that stuff. Many good players, team building, not about the individual. There was another bite Jerry had yesterday, and there was some animus. Jerry was angry. And as shrewd and as calculated as Jerry is, he's human. And he got angry when asked about the joke, poking Zeke in the ribs about, who's Zeke? Zeke was offended. Why would Jerry be angry? Oh, I don't know, because Jerry tried to get the NFL commissioner fired for not defending Zeke. So Jerry Jones drafts Zeke. Zeke gets in trouble immediately. Jerry goes to the wall for him. The fans bail on him. Media people like me bail on him. The NFL bails on him. The commissioner bails on him. And Jerry goes to the wall for him. And you pay him back going to Mexico and 2 years out holding out. And you don't think Jerry's justified with a little bit of his anger? A little bit?
Just a little.
I mean, if I defended you, your mom wouldn't, your dad wouldn't, your job wouldn't, your boss wouldn't, your industry wouldn't, and I defended you, and I tried to get your boss fired, don't you owe me a solid? just a little solid? I don't always take the owner's side. But in this instance, Jerry defended Zeke to the core. And make no bones about this, Jerry has all the leverage. Jerry just doesn't have to pay Zeke for 2 years. And then he can franchise him. Zeke's career could be over. He doesn't have to pay him. Doesn't have to pay him. You can say, well, the Cowboys won't win. Well, what are they winning with him? Well, Jerry wants a Super Bowl. Well, hell, he's wanted one for 20 years. It's not like Zeke was giving.
Well, so you see what I mean, because we've got, of course, Jabba the Hutt and everything else, which is, I'm not even going to go into that guy this morning and his crew and things. But what would sports shows be without the Dallas Cowboys? Because here's the amazing thing about this, because I always talk about this and people say, oh, well, it's because the Cowboys are always a mess. But it's amazing that here we are looking at the Dallas Cowboys with Zeke Elliott holding out. And it is literally, Zeke's career could be over and everything, this, that, and the other. And here we have the same situation that's been going on for even longer in San Diego. San Diego's been having Melvin Gordon, and they already know that one's going to probably go into the season. He's demanded a trade. He wants to get the hell out of there. But nobody is talking about that on a daily basis, or really maybe even a weekly basis. This is where you realize it's not about getting the news out anymore. It's about putting out these wild, crazy conspiracy theories and get clicks. And in a way, if that's what you're looking for, then you're loving all this. It's definitely getting conversations going. I get emails and text messages and links of all these different shows, and it's like, can you believe what this jackass or this idiot said, or I hate that guy? It's doing, and it's having the effect that they want. But the worst part about it is what it's really doing is tearing our fan base apart. They're getting what they want. They're getting the reaction. They're getting the clicks. They're getting the notoriety. The bonus effect is they don't like the Dallas Cowboys and they want to see us fighting. They don't have to do the dirty work for us. We're doing it for them. So I tell you, when you watch these shows, when you listen to Pro Football Focus, when they tell you that Dak Prescott's 17th, well, they had Pat Mahomes at 26 last year with guys like Sam Bradford, in front of him. Okay, so it's not real. It's why you play the games. It's why you look at the numbers and the facts and you trust your eyes. Don't go by what these guys say. How often have they said that this is the team to beat? This is the can't miss player. And they end up being a bust. Or they end up being in the basement and in the lottery the next year. If you remember last year this time, we were getting sold the same thing we were being sold this year. The Eagles, best team in football. They've got all kinds of depth. And what do we hear as Cowboy fans? Oh, well, you only beat us because we had so many guys injured. But wait a minute. Weren't you Super Bowl defending champions? Weren't you the team that had more depth than anybody else? Best quarterback situation? Yet they were wrong. Remember, last year, they talked about the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, they ranked him at 8th as a team. Cowboys, 18th. How'd that work out? Oh, Minnesota Vikings. They got Kirk Cousins. He's a winner. He's got great numbers. They're a Super Bowl team. How'd that work out for them? Atlanta Falcons, Julio Jones, Matty Ice. Coming off the Super Bowl just 2 years ago. They're going to be great. How'd that work out for them? So in the end, they don't really know. And in the end, they'll flip-flop to the whole other side of what is going on in the news. So don't fall for it. I truly miss the good old days when I could turn on the television and see Sports Center and make a decision for myself on what was relevant. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'm excited because there's football tonight. And again, we're 14 days, 12 hours, 14 minutes, and 30 seconds away from kickoff of the 2019 season. And we're doing a little construction here at the set. Doing some more upgrades and some changes. I'm kind of changing out the layout here. I've actually added, believe it or not, this is crazy, I've added actually another computer so that way when we're live streaming and I have Facebook on, I can check out the chat that's in Facebook as well as having another computer. Oh, God, am I crazy? I honestly don't know how I run all this stuff. I honestly don't. I've got a keyboard for this computer. I've got my streaming deck here. I've got 2 computers right here. I got another computer over there. I've got 2 monitors. I have 2 cell phones that are running 2 different cameras. And then I have my regular phone, which we're going to start taking calls from you guys again. So this is where it's kind of going. It's evolving and it's changing up a little bit. But change is good because, see, you cannot rest on what you did last year or last week. Because when you rest, when you feel that you've made it, that's when somebody else comes through, picks apart what you do, figures out how you did it, and figures out how they can do it cheaper and how they can do it better, and you get left behind. And so you have to stay hungry. You got to keep working. You got to keep pounding. And you have to keep constantly trying to evolve. If you don't, you become a dinosaur. And you go away like the George Michael sports machine. I'm Mark Holmes, and thank you as always for being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys soon.